What food is good for maintaining mind? Does vegetarian sattvic food facilitate meditation?
If there is anything called refinement, selection, and reformation and refinement is there, vegetarian food is the real food. There is no doubt about it. Our body biologically on the one hand and psychologically on the other is meant only for vegetarianism. We have 2 rows of teeth. Our canines are not longer as you find in carnivorous animals. See, they will always eat like this. Do we eat like that? We always put it into the mouth and start chewing. See, our food is to be chewed. Vegetarian body has got a longer intestines. Non-vegetarian bodies are lesser intestines. We cannot see at night. We cannot extend our claws. Vitamin C is required by us. In non-vegetarian food, it is not there as I understand. I am subject to correction. So what is the intention of nature so far as the human body is concerned? We are supposed to be living on herbal food. There is no doubt about it. Even when you are taking non-vegetarian food, you are only taking meat of vegetarian animals. You want to cut short. Vegetarian animals eat, digest and grow their flesh. You cut it. Another question let me ask you. For milk, the cows, buffaloes, etc., they have 4 teats. Human beings have 2 breasts. They deliver twins. But cows and buffaloes, about horses I cannot say, I am not very familiar. Very seldom they have twins. What does it mean? One calf requires only 1 teat. Milk is sufficient for it. After 2 months you should not give also. Then they will not conceive, they will not be pregnant. So, except vegetarian food, what is the food? Normal and harmonious for us. And for non-vegetarian food, you have to kill. Now, all the carnivorous animals kill and eat directly. Now we want somebody else to kill and we eat. Is there any forthrightness in it? Why don't you kill and eat? And meat became a part of human food only when fire we started using. Not until then. So this is the story. So I can talk to you more, but I am minimizing it. You consider the biological formation of the body and the psychological intention of nature also. So we have got a vegetarian body. After the Second World War, vegetarian and non-vegetarian soldiers were grouped separately, wounded soldiers, and treatment was administered. It was found that vegetarian soldiers healed faster. See, whenever we take a mango, it has still life in it. It will become riper. And every mango falls with no damage to. Can you extract flesh from any animal without killing it? Like extracting milk. So please don't discuss this subject before me. You have no ground to be non-vegetarian. If you believe in nature and you understand the structure of your body, the biological formation, it is only meant for vegetarianism. Let us eat vegetables, vegetarian food, and then live lastingly. See, there are plants and herbs which can last many seasons. Animals cannot stand without water, etc. for long. So sustainability is more in the vegetarian kingdom. There are trees which last for centuries. In Calcutta Botanical Gardens, there is a banyan tree which is more than 1,200 years old. Do you know of an animal which lives that long? So sustainability is more in the vegetarian kingdom. Look into the huge forests. How many trees are there? So no option. Even in vegetarianism you will find There are some items which are just like mutton, beef. So there also there is a selection to be made. That selection is there even for vegetarian food. Garlic, onion, etc. They are not supposed to be good. And there are other items also.
The next question is from Malini Sugumaran. How do I pick an effective
I
mantra?
would like the name when it is read, please get up. If the person is not there, we will not answer.
How do I pick an effective mantra? All this while, I have understood that mantra is given by our spiritual master upon initiation.
If you want to have a proper mantra, I have already said, it has to be initiated to you, given to you in the form of an initiation by a person who has the requisite authority, experience and traditional sanction for it. But you need not necessarily wait for it. God's name also can be a mantra. God has got so many names. You use one name and start chanting, and that will lead you. Have a prayer. Oh God, may I be shown the right Guru, may I be taken to the Guru, may I have Diksha like this. Then you will have it. There is no doubt about it. Depending upon the intensity of your prayer, I think whatever you need to have will be provided.
The next question is from Vanita. The question is this: what is the best time of the day to meditate?
I am a little revolutionary in this. People generally feel that early in the morning after getting up they can meditate. I am not generally agreeable about it. But people, to be safer, they take the morning hours. Otherwise mind will be distracted. For getting into an absorptional meditation, after getting up, be active for a while. After that you sit in meditation. One condition is the stomach should not have any solid undigested food. You can sip some tea or coffee, but there should be no solid food in the stomach undigested. When food is to be digested, all the energy and blood flow will be more towards this region and less towards the head. We want more blood to be sent in the head region. So for women who are not employed, you can finish the day's work, forenoon's work, and just before meals you take about an hour or so and meditate. Similarly, before the evening food also you can meditate. That is the best time.
The next question is from Sunil. Swamiji,
Who is Sunil?
Swamiji, as an outcome of meditation, peaceful and calm mind, how does that goodness of us be transmitted to transform lives of people around us? Second part, saying this in reference to the collapsing moral value and rising social ills and problems amongst youngsters.
See, in a society which is consisting of only individuals, the transformation has to come through individuals. Say, imagine in the body so many cells are there. Our society is like this. So out of it, if one cell is infected, the whole body is in danger. And if the body has to be improved, it is also cellular improvement. So as an individual, first of all, you become transformed. That transformation will have its effect on the society. None should have a flair for transforming others. When you get transformed, automatically biological and psychological effects will be there. And I am sure that there is equally a radiational effect also. So if one person is good, you say there is an aura, you can say, though I am not suddenly coming to the aura situation. So it will automatically have its effect. In addition, when the transformation in you has reached considerable measure, there will be such a transformation that you may become a benefactor for the society. Many people are like that. Why did I become a sannyasin? And how is it that I happen to be here and elsewhere talking to people? In my life I do only thinking, nothing else. So the transformation should work first of all in you. That transformation itself is radiational. It will radiate into the others, and your transformation can also mark greater and higher degrees where you will yourself be driven to a role of benefactorship.
Swamiji, we have 8 more questions to read, and time is already 9:05. Shall we continue?
I am available.
The next question is from Ranjit Kaur. Can we change our mantra once desired goal is achieved?
Bah.
Can we use mantra for material goals or desires?
See, can we change our mantra once desired goal is achieved? Why? When you have achieved the desired goal, many other goals also can be achieved. So continue the mantra. Where is the question of changing it? Never change. Changing means disloyalty. Next. Can we use mantra for material gains? In our scriptures and shastras, so many mantras are there only for material purposes. Material purposes, nobody says that we can have no material purpose. Suppose a marriage is to be done, and so many other things are there. We run 7 temples, and that Pandavagiri Devi temple is on top of our ashram land. So that Devi has got a fame. That is, whenever anybody wants to have a good, nice marriage, there is a puja offered there and Devi negotiates it. And then people who are married, an unbroken marital bond, Nedumangalyam it is called, that is also very famous. She is the goddess who blessed Draupadi for her husband's victory in the Mahabharata war and her own Mangalya, marital bond. And in that name, right from 5,000 years ago, even now, the tradition of worshipping the Devi for these purposes goes on. So I have taken special interest to make people all over the world know that there is such a place where our tradition is there. Wherever Hindu traditions and cultural elements are there, I go all out to support it and sustain it and publicize it. So that is very specifically a material offer. You enter a temple, so many things are listed there, and they will say, I want this. If no such list is there, nobody will go to the temple. So you can pray to God for material gains. There is nothing wrong about it. Savitri prayed to Lord Shiva to retrieve Satyavan, who had actually died. And by virtue of her prayer and austerity, Satyavan was revived. This is what our tradition says. What more do you want? In fact, all gains are material. You are living in this material world and you want liberation from materiality. That is also because of our birth here. There is nothing wrong. Very good.
Next question is from Vaishnavi and Teshwin. The first question is, does the thought process stop when you are dreaming?
Thought process of the dream continue. Wakeful thought process are not there. Dream is another wakeful state as long as it is on. Till you break, it is called wakefulness. You know what is a dream? A dream is a phenomenon from which you wake up. And when you wake up, it is not there. Till you wake up, it is just like wakefulness. But when you wake up, none of the dream phenomena will be there. So it is not right to say, does the thought process stop when you are dreaming? Thought process does not stop. But it is a dream thought process, that's all. When you are inebriated, does that mean you are using external substances to influence your thought process? What is meant by inebriation here?
Drunk.
Generally we use
Drunk,
it for
sir.
spiritual purpose.
No, it's getting drunk.
Getting drunk. When you are inebriated, yes. See, what is the difference between meditation and using external means for the purpose? Just like medicine produces its effect, liquor and such substances also produce their effect. So, When some people want to commit crime or maybe something else, they specifically get drunk, I have heard, in order to be able to do it. So this is all. Why are you asking this question? It's a fact. We are using external substances to influence our thought process also. There are some people. I was told that in Calcutta, when a few years back, maybe 1 or 2 decades back, it was that collapsible gate lift. One day somehow it was open, and one man from the office, he was drunk, he stepped into it, fell and died. So such things can happen. To commit suicide, some people drink. After getting drunk alone, they will be able to climb up and jump, etc. It happens. But I don't recommend it or allow it or encourage it. Would you like me to answer the rest of the questions? Yes.
There is so much of suffering happening around the world. Can a person's meditation or self-realization can end suffering around the world?
No. Self-realization is never going to be in conflict with or disharmony with the world. The world means suffering as well as happiness. The world is a place of pairs of opposites. So good and bad will be there, sin and virtue will be there, heaven and hell will be there, prosperity and adversity will be there, riches and poverty will be there. So one person's self-realization cannot overtake the world. Other people also are there. They should also have the freedom. So an individual freedom cannot be to annihilate the freedom and potential of the others. So this can never happen. Self-realization brings in you such a harmony so that you will be harmonious with the world and world should be harmonious with you.
The next question is from Asha.
All of you can read the question. Even then reading, it's a part of it, that audio is important. Otherwise I will read it. How do we ensure that when we use a mantra to reach the middle, the process does not become just mechanical? How do we ensure? You have some idea of mechanicalness. Now you make sure that it is not mechanical. You know what is mechanical. So you should make sure that you are very zealous and very serious about it. If I explain it, I need time. I can tell you what is meant by mechanical and non-mechanical, how it can work. But now I cannot tell you more. The mechanical process should be arrested. You should examine that intensity and attention, both of them when properly infused, that mechanical nature will not be there. Our whole task is not to make it mechanical. Even if you mechanically do it, it does not matter. Because after a long process you will find some effect will be there. And that effect is sufficient. Some meditation practice needs the meditator to focus our attention in between our eyes or our right eye so that our Sahasrara chakra opens. What is your thought on this? He is focusing on the third eye, which is still elusive to me, a way of getting to the middle thoughts. External aids are no doubt used for meditational purposes. But with the external means, the effect sought to be produced is in the mind. So I personally would recommend that attempt the mind process directly. Because with the external aid, you are seeking to produce a mental effect. So why don't you approach the mental way and produce the necessary effect directly? This is what I would advise. But in the world there are many people who seek external aids. I cannot stop them, nor will I say it should not be. Third eye. I only know of two eyes and another eye. Two eyes are biological and the third eye is called Jnana Drishti. The Jnana Drishti is a vision which is oriented after spiritual wisdom. Drishtim jnanamayim krutva pashyet brahmamayam jagad. Shankara says. Drishtim jnanamayim krutva. Try to understand the spiritual wisdom and wisdom vision, and then see the whole world as laden with Brahma, laden with the supreme reality. So seeing the whole world as godly is the jnana drishti. That is the third vision I know. This is biological, that is the other one is spiritual. Not a third eye is there in between here. What is the optional thought or mantra? Please elaborate and provide example. Optional thought is a thought of your option. Whatever you want to say, whatever you want to be ultimately, that everyone will have to say. When people come seeking Diksha, in the Diksha room, we have got an soundproof air-conditioned room in the ashram. The one question that I ask is, what is it that you want from me? And give me an answer consisting of 2 or 3 words. Close your eyes, sit for a moment, and then tell me, I say. And they will have to tell and they will have to remember what they have said. So the optional thought is to be selected by you. That is why it is called optional thought. Please elaborate and provide example. What example? Ratnagara was a dacoit. He happened to attempt to rob 7 Maharshis who passed this way. They thought that we are always free and nobody intercepts us. Here is a man who has intercepted. So they took to it with a strangeness. So they turned back. In that merciful grace of theirs, Ratnagara got transformed. Then there was a conversation. He was told that what you are doing is sinful. Will your wife and children participate in the consequence? He went and asked. They said, no, we will not. You have to look after us. If the way of earning money is wrong, that is your lookout. We will not share your sin. So he said, I am going to leave everything. Then what shall I do? A poor man knowing nothing. They said, start chanting Ram, 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 Ram. That he made his optional thought. So he started chanting Ram, 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 Ram. And the sound became lesser and lesser. It became a mutter. He closed his lips. It was inner. And he got his wonderful state. By the time he woke up, the whole body was covered by anthill, etc. This is what Ramayana says. So, optional thought can be anything. In his case, nothing else could be told him. So he accepted what they gave. He made that his option. So, I don't have to give you any further example. You strive and tell me what is your optional thought. If you are not able to arrive at, then I will discuss the subject with you and finally make you say, this is my option. I will explain to you what is life. I will explain to you what is the world. I will explain to you what you are. Either you, world and life. This is what we have. When we explain it properly, you will arrive at your own conclusion. That conclusion is very important.